Welcome to tonight's guide on online security, brought to you by D.D.O.S. Once upon a time there lived 3 men. The first man stole 30 million dank meme currency from a Discord rando. The second man went to Twitter and commented on a particularly defensive community. The third man went to r/place and planted his lovely little pixel unknowingly in the middle of a Playboy Carti portrait. The actions of these 3 men were given the same unfortunate response, being DM'd by a stranger who somehow got their IP addresses and is now threatening to make their life a living hell.
Huh. Well, what exactly is an IP address, and why are people panicking over it? An IP address, or an Internet Protocol address, is a string of numbers that is used to identify a network or a device on the Internet. It is used to determine what is sending data over the Internet and who receives that data. Simply put, it routes all of the Internet's data traffic. Hey, so that's what the funky little string of numbers means, and a stranger hears it, now what? What's there to fear? That's a good question, considering that collecting another person's IP address isn't exactly illegal. In fact, many big companies do this. The apps we use and the websites we visit collect our IP address to send and receive information. So if the big companies could do it, why must we fear this stranger online who also does it? Well, that's because we don't know what they intend to use your IP address for. It could be for good, it could also be for bad. And now that I've done a little back reading, you did call them Yeah, they're coming for you. But how, you ask? First off, he could learn which city you're in since your IP address actually shows your city. Using this information immediately limits the area of where the stranger needs to search to find you. Of course, people with bad intentions knowing where you live isn't a good thing. Another annoying thing about people knowing your IP address is the lack of privacy. Since an IP address is used for sending and receiving information, people could use this to see and track everything that you do online. This may leave you vulnerable to cyber attacks and social engineering attacks. The best example of this is your internet service provider, and how your FBI agent knows what exactly you are doing. This is also how some cases of cybercrimes are solved. Finding the hacker's IP address makes us one step closer to him. Using this reasoning, the stranger on the internet could also frame you for illegal online activity. Hackers are known to use hacked IP addresses to download illegal content that could threaten national security, or some other exciting thing that they don't want traced back to them. By using hacked IP addresses, the illegal content won't be traced back to them since the IP address used isn't theirs to begin with. The worst thing that this stranger could do to you is to perform cyber attacks on you, like hacking. The internet uses ports and your IP address to make a connection. Though there are thousands of ports for every IP address, a hacker that knows your IP address could use a brute force method and try every one of those ports to make a connection with your device. If successful, this allows them to take control of your device and even steal some information along the way. Something that makes this easier for hackers is called port scanning. It reveals a device's open ports. This reduces the number of ports that the hacker will have to go through in his brute force methods. Another cyber attack that they could perform on you is the D.D.O.S attack. But that's a topic reserved for another video, so you better subscribe to get notified of when that video comes out. Now, what's one way of protecting yourself from someone using your IP address? The best move you could make is using a VPN. A VPN will make sure your data will go through a VPN server that has its own IP address. This means that all of your data being sent will be received as encrypted data. This makes sure that no one could spy on it, not even your internet service provider. Now, there are of course alternatives to this. You can use the Tor browser, which is a free handy-dandy browser that allows you to conceal your IP address whenever you surf online. However, the level of encryption with the Tor browser is quite high, so your data speed might take a hit, among a few other restrictions. You could opt to use proxy servers. Proxy servers, or proxies for short, act like intermediates for the end user and the websites. They can serve as an extra padding of protection and are an important component for firewalls. Think of it as a budget VPN for your connections, and I tell you to think of it as a budget VPN because proxy servers usually cover only a few particular apps or websites, whereas using VPN protects your entire network. A proxy server can also be compromised by way of vulnerability or hacks, and hell, they might not even be legal. Another level of defense is already within your device. Modern operating systems come with their own firewalls to keep access restricted to certain ports only. Pair this up with a VPN, and you could actively hide your ports and keep only the necessary ones open. The last alternative to hiding your IP is to use public networks, like the ones in computer shops or cafes. But to be honest, who opts for that? Really, the best alternative is to suck it up and acquire a VPN, and a good one at that. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching. And you better subscribe and hit that like button. Share the video with friends and family. Be sure to click the bell and follow our socials to be notified when and where new videos will be dropped. This is D.D.O.S. See you next video.